Hey guys, just here on the job right now. We came to just fix a job. Some guys weren't trained properly. It wasn't their fault. This is a common thing in the industry where people just don't get trained properly. So we're coming to really train the guys on the job, fix a couple pool decks, and show them how to do it right, all the way from start to finish. And as you can see, it was pretty hacked up. We have guys taping stuff off right now. We go over a lot of this stuff. You won't get all the details on this video, but we'll definitely show you some of the steps and before and afters on everything. So hopefully you enjoy the video.
All right guys, so we're here on a project. We're gonna do recoat this pool deck. It got messed up on the first coat, as you can see, a lot of unevenness, and actually it was a lot of the wrong product used. So we're gonna show you guys how to do it right and how to go over this whole thing and make it look new again. So a lot of things, we're just prepping everything, getting stuff plasticed off. All the fences getting plasticed off. It's already been cleaned, so now we're getting ready. It's already been sealed, so we're gonna be priming it with a special primer, and then we're gonna be coating it with our overlay system. So we're gonna show you guys everything from start to finish. Yeah guys, so check it out. Like we got overlay. They got overlay on everything. Fencing, they didn't really take nothing off. On the walls. All over here, and the texture didn't turn out very good. So we're gonna show them how to do a correct knockdown texture with Leggari products. Got on the walls. So yeah, you can kind of see they've already coated it. Had to regrind because the texture wasn't good. So now we're gonna come in, prime it, do our system on it, and train the guys properly how to do a concrete overlay. It's gonna look amazing. All right, so we're going around grinding some really rough spots that were left. And I'm just using a 4-inch grinder, and all I'm gonna do is just buzz the tops off, flatten it off. That way when we do this texture, it looks really good. All the fencing has covered an overlay. Just everywhere. And the drains, here's a drain. It was a drain. All coated, covered. They're gonna have to cut this out. This is all before we got here. Here's the other part of the drain over here.
Okay guys, we're getting ready to do the first coat on this pool. We're gonna use the primer, our special primer that actually bonds to sealers, because when you grind really rough surfaces, you can actually only grind the peaks. You can't grind the rest. So if you notice here, it's somewhat shiny. It's still shiny. The reason why it's shiny is because it has sealer on it. We couldn't get it all off. That's just the name of the game sometimes if you have to go fix a coating. So you have to have a way to bond to this really well. Now it's really porous. I'm not, you know, as concerned about the porosity of it as much as I am the actual bond. So we scuffed up as much as we can with a diamond cup wheel, and now we're spraying on the primer with just a pump up weed sprayer. That's the best application. Then we got guys holding cardboard so we don't get it on things. You know, obviously if it's windy, you want to be thinking about the wind. Anything you get this on is going to be extremely sticky. I'll show you how much he's getting on. He'll spray this black here. See? We're just getting into the deep spots. See how it's got kind of a white film on everything? You can kind of see the line where he's spraying the primer and where it doesn't have the primer on it. So they have a lot more stuff to fix than just the pool deck. That's what we're focusing on. They're gonna be repainting stuff, recoating stuff, besides just the pool deck. Notice he's pulling back and forth on the edges right here and over there, and then he's filling in the middle here. And that's what you want to do. You want to work down your edges, then you want to work this edge just a little bit, and then you want to fill it in back and forth, constantly leaving this big ribbon. Constantly leaving the ribbon. See how he's got liquid everywhere? See this liquid? If he ever runs out, like right here, where it's flat, that'll actually dry quickly. So you wanna constantly have a guy, whoever's pouring your ribbons, you wanna have a guy pouring and always making sure there is liquid on the end of that ribbon. See, all the way across, even if it's little, even if it's like this, it's still got some thickness to the ribbon. That means it won't dry. So you're just moving back and forth, and you got one guy, all he's doing is he's watching that ribbon. He's just watching that ribbon, and as he runs out, he's pouring more material. And there's some guys on the outside of the fence just pulling it over the edge of the concrete, coating everything, because we can't reach that from inside the fence. So if this happens and a guy has to go back to the mixing station in the shade and get another bucket, the guy who's doing the troweling, he wants to just wait a second so he doesn't run out, and he wants to just make sure he has enough to leave a bead everywhere in case it takes him a minute to get back. Because again, if you have a really thin spot, it'll start setting up immediately. So he's just gonna give himself a little time to get back here before he runs out. He'll start going slower and working it slower. But as you can see, guys, this is not hard. Again, if you're just trained properly, this is not hard. I mean, look how much we've done in a matter of about 5 minutes. So he's got one bucket, and he knows that this bucket will get us at least to about up to this bucket. And notice he set it in the shade, mostly in the shade. You always want to leave buckets in. Notice how we have the foot markers of the pool completely covered with tape so that we can just coat right over it, and it looks really clean when we pull that tape. You don't typically hydrate when you prime, because the primer almost acts like a sealer. So if I spray water on it, all it does is pull up and dilute the overlay. We're not trying to dilute the overlay because we want it on at a certain thickness. We want it to be a certain viscosity. We don't want it to be watery and not coat to a certain mil thickness. So, all right, guys, when he pulls over this one pass, it pinholes. And it's because we can't hydrate it, but when he pulls again, it fills all those back in. And you typically only have to do that if it's really hot, or if you've used the primer and you've only done one pass on a really porous surface. And those shouldn't come back. See, guys, I'm walking on this. It's already dry because it is fairly hot out here. It's actually only about 78 to 80 degrees out. Went around here all the way to here. So this is from dry to wet. You can see the line.
So this is our coating we're putting down. Obviously this didn't get prepped very good. You see how dirty it is underneath this coating, and it's popping up. So I'm just gonna get as much of this loose stuff up as I can. And that's what happens when you don't prep it right. You gotta get it, make sure it's clean. You can see how dirty that is. It doesn't look like gray concrete at all. All right, so if you gotta wait and give it a minute and start mixing another batch and you got your beads kind of left some hard lines, you can just work that in real quick. You can do it with the big one, but all you're trying to do is just knock that edge down. And then when we coat over that, you won't even be able to tell. And if for some reason you can't get it down, you can always sand that down before the next coat. And you'll never see it.
All right, guys, we're spraying water-based sealer out of a pump-up sprayer, weed sprayer, same thing we spray the primer out of. Again, we love these, they're easy. There is a little bit of a breeze, so we got a guy here just kind of helping with overspray. But notice how easy it is, and we're gonna do 2 or 3 coats like this. And the first coat, you wanna go light. You don't wanna puddle it. You wanna just get a coat on everything. You don't want it to puddle. Notice how he's just changing the color of the concrete a little bit. And it'll come out white, and it'll dry clear.
All right, guys, so this is after 3 coats of sealer. Thin coats. See how awesome it looks. Same coat, same colors, a splatter texture everywhere. You guys saw how hacked up this pool was. I mean, it looks awesome. Looks like a brand new pool just from doing a coating on it. 2 days. Real simple. Look at the texture, it's awesome. The sky's the limit here. We could do different colors. We could do the base color one color, the splatter another color. It's just phenomenal. Doesn't hurt your feet. Right here, they're going to be cutting out this pool drain because the first time the contractor previously had filled it in, they didn't even tape it off, so now they're going to cut that out. So they're going to come in saw cut after we leave, put a new drain in. You got the caulk all these edges. It's going to look awesome. Still got a little sealer drying.
Thanks for watching. Leggari Products is now providing concrete overlay kits that are DIY friendly. These are for indoor or outdoor use. If you would like more information, see the description below or check out our website, www.leggari.com.